So a lot of you guys have been asking me about worship leading. We've talked singing, we've talked how to breathe, we've talked some of those different things like singing through those breaks, singing more powerfully. But a piece of worship leading also is how do you make those transitions not awkward, right? I don't know if you've been at a church before where they're going from one song and all of a sudden it's like this sudden like screech of wheels, right? Like they're making this sudden stop, like, wah, and it's super awkward and there's super long silence and you're just sitting there like your awkward meter in your heart is like about to explode. But I want to give some good tips and things I've kind of learned along the way after doing this for 15, 20 years about things that really just make people feel at ease, and it just brings this comfort level to your worship leading that that people just feel like they can sit there comfortably in the Spirit and hear from God and not be distracted by awkwardness, which is the best way I can think to describe it, because that's really just your job, is to lead people to God and to the throne of worship. And so you don't want them to be distracted by weird things going on. The minute they start feeling like, oh, what's happening next, they start to get distracted. So your mission really is to have like these seamless transitions, and if you can go from one song to the next, or if you can even be sharing different pieces in between the songs that just smoothly like continue to lead people to what God is calling them to at the time, or what God is saying to them at the time. Like that's your mission. So it's not necessarily about a show. I don't want you to hear me wrong there, but just how can you do that? And one of my favorite things that another worship guy had told me was, he said, the Holy Spirit is also going to be leading you throughout the week, not just on the Sunday. So you can be praying and asking God, what do you want me to be saying in these transitions, like during the week? It doesn't have to be right on the spot. And yes, sometimes it might be spontaneous, but also he can be showing you those different things. And here's just a few super, super uber practical things that I do a lot of times that I feel like take away some of that awkwardness. And it's super easy for you to do. So here's a few of them. One is that when you end a song, is don't just end it right away. I feel like a lot of times when people first start leading worship, they feel like, okay, we played the song, we got out, done, let's just cut it. But even if you just have like 4 measures at the end of your song, it's a super simple thing you can do, but it just gives people a second to like end that song emotionally. Like, okay, great, here, you're good. It can even go on for longer than that if you need it. Say a guitar has to change keys or something like that, add 8 measures at the end. So it just gives your whole band a second to make sure you're together, because that's sometimes, if you're ending really suddenly, sometimes that can be a fear. If your band isn't going to be together, that you have a little bit of buffer, I call it a buffer, at the end of your songs to get everybody all together. So that's going to be really helpful. Give yourself that buffer. Don't be scared like I just have to end the song right now, right on our final note that we sing. Take your time with that, and that's okay.